Good morning, fellow South Africans. Good morning and happy Wednesday. Is it Wednesday today? Is it? Okay, I just woke up, guys, so forgive me. When I went to bed last night, I was thinking about Fikile Mbalula. I don't know why I was thinking about Fikile Mbalula, but then I realized that, Fikile Mbalula, in as much as he was in a dichotomy, more like a rat. You know what a rat does, right? In order not for it to get caught, it will bite and blow, bite and blow. That is exactly what Fikile Mbalula was doing when it came to the topic of March and March. He says we don't have a problem. No, actually, doesn't say the ANC does not have a problem with March and March. It's just that it's a non-starter for them. It's something that they're not going to talk about. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, you better not. You better not talk about March and March, because when you talk about March and March, you will fall in the trap that all of your comrades have fallen into of unfairly criticizing March on March, dismissing the concerns of South Africans that they've now entrusted March on March to speak on their behalf on, whether it's to the media or whoever cares to listen to them. And you are going to be criticizing that. You are going to be disrespecting that. You are going to say things that are going to make South Africans extremely angry. And I thought to myself, Fikile Mbalula, you're on the right track on this one, even though we would like to know what is the ANC NEC's real thoughts and feelings about March and March. So I could be forgiven for that. But I knew that Fikile Mbalula will not be able to hold himself, because he did exactly what I was thinking he's going to do. So much and much after the disaster of a meeting they had with the security cluster, where basically the security cluster looked at them and said, South Africans, what is your problem? What is your problem? Instead of the South African government saying, we hear you, and this is the date that we are giving illegal foreigners to leave the country. No. Instead, they walk away with being threatened, or at least felt threatened, because it's a security cluster. What is the whole purpose of a security cluster? Security cluster, for that matter. To me, it spells intimidation. Intimidation. Had it been a meeting between the stakeholders and the ministers in the presidency, like chief of staff, that where we get to hear what's in the president's mind, then I would have said, okay, this is not intimidation. But to intimidate and become a typical African country, because many African countries, if you are listening to them, they cannot understand why our government is not unleashing the army onto South Africans like they do when their own respective countries' citizens take to the streets. They unalive them by using the army. That's what they don't understand. And they don't understand that South Africa, the people shall govern. Even on the 30th, even on the 30th, the government cannot just release the army. It will be unconstitutional unless it is a state of emergency. You cannot unleash the army on the people of South Africa just because you felt like it. It needs to be an act of parliament, if I'm not mistaken. And that means we, the citizen, get to see who is really for us and who is really against us in the government of national unity, and also the opposition parties, because I think they will need 2/3 majority for something like this to happen. So the whole talk about the army is going to be unleashed and what, I don't think that's going to happen, even though the commander-in-chief is the president. The president has to be reminded about Marikana, whether he was directly involved or indirectly involved, but he needs to be reminded that this should not happen again. It should have never happened before, and it should not happen ever again. And at this time around, it's going to be at a massive scale, because the army is trained as killing machines. they don't negotiate. They are not taught to negotiate or trained to negotiate. So it's going to tell a lot about our members of parliament. It's also going to tell a lot about the people that surround Cyril Ramaphosa, which is the ANC NEC, where they will say, okay, President, these are your marching orders as president of the country. This is what you are going to do. We know that the ANC hates us. We know that. So coming back to Fikile Mbalula, where he lost it. So March and March after that, they held their own press conference and they called it the State of the Nation Address. So there was a question that was asked by a journalist to Jacinta and said to her, so maybe it was a speech that I don't know, she said to a point where she said, if the government does not listen, then we'll see. Oh, Mbalula interpreted that as a threat. That was not a threat, what Jacinta said. She did not say that there will be violence. Why did he choose to say that the country was, or the government, or whoever, the illegal foreigners? Once again, that goes to show that the ANC, they will do anything and everything in their power to protect the illegal foreigners. Because if it was a threat, that threat was not to South Africans. That threat was not to South Africans. That threat, if that's how we interpreted it, it's not a threat, number one, never was a threat. The misinterpretation was deliberately to continue pushing the propaganda. You remember now, we managed to arrest the mainstream media, political parties. There are those that just don't want to listen, where they refer to us as xenophobic. We pushed the ANC to tell the world whether South Africans are xenophobic or not. And then we heard Fikile Mbalula, I think, more than 3 times, trying to convince the media that South Africans are not xenophobic. It's something that we've been saying for eons of years. Now we need to them understand that we are speaking of illegal foreigners. Illegal, because for some reason they don't get it. They don't want to get it. They want to continue to push the narrative that South Africans hate their fellow brothers and sisters of the continent because of they are black. And we fear them. And yet we've been living with them for how many years again? I mean, Fikile Mbalula, he used to, I remember Fikile Mbalula used to hang out with my older brother at Razzmatazz. It's a club just on the foot of Hillbrow on Nugget Street. And they used to hang out with foreign nationals, Zimbabweans, you name them. And this was in the 90s. This was in the 90s. And they were already doing their shenanigans, these foreign nationals, in the 90s. Hillbrow became almost the most dangerous place to be outside of a war zone. He used to go to Razzmatazz. So now to act as if he does not know how dangerous these people are, why now then he takes a small piece of Jacinta's speech where, because when we say we'll see, I mean, I always say this all the time, we'll see. And when I say we'll see, I don't mean that I'm threatening you. If I said, hey, do this and you don't do it, then I say we'll see. It doesn't mean I'm going to take some drastic action. It sometimes means you are going to end up in tears with what you are doing, but not in a violent way type of situation. Because I believe Jacinta's will see meant South Africans don't want your people in their communities. And you are not going to force South Africans to accept these people back in their communities. That is what I believe she meant. Not that we are going to pick up arms and then we are going to unalive people, hurt people, and things of that nature. He just could not help it in pushing that propaganda. And that is why he said it the way he did, with such passion, to try and convince whoever is listening that March and March is a vigilante group. because that was it was short of coming out of his tongue to declare March and March as a vigilante group because of what Jacinta said, the misinterpretation, because he needs to promote this propaganda. He needs to promote that propaganda. And unfortunately, it did not land because the people of South Africa heard something totally different. She did not explicitly say, and for you to even accuse her of incitement, it's not going to stand in any court of law. It needs to be expressly said that it's Zobona and da 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 da. How do you interpret will see mean? Seriously. So it goes to show that the ANC is playing charades with the people of South Africa when it comes to March and March and xenophobia. They believe that we are xenophobic. And I think until the ANC gets to understand that March and March is not just a group, it is South Africans. And I know there are some people who actually do not believe that it is big. It almost supported by, when I say almost, I mean like the 80% of Black South Africans, I would say about 60% are behind March and March. Whether you believe that or not, about 60%, if not more, support March and March. And therefore, that's an entire nation. That is an entire nation that are saying we are tired. The 30th of June is too far. Some of them are even saying. Some people who did not believe in this movement, they are saying, yeah, now I see. People that are living in ivory towers, their homes are being broken into. Guess by who? Yeah. Yeah. Including former ministers' homes are getting broken into and they get pointed with guns. They should be happy that they're able to tell the tale. Some South Africans don't get to do that. And now suddenly, they see what the rest of South Africans are seeing. So you're not safe in your ivory tower either. Maybe until something happens, then you will understand why the people on the ground are doing what they are doing. So it was quite interesting to see how the ANC really feels about March and March, because I knew they were going to slip up at some point. It didn't take that long. And I did say this. And I did say this. The ANC hates South Africans. Yo. That party hates us, Shem. It makes complete sense why we are in the mess we are in. They didn't care about us. They cared only about themselves. They cannot deny this for all that they can throw. They cannot deny this. So we need to do the right thing. We cannot be putting people in seats, either parliament, legislatures, or the city councils that don't like us. That they only see us as good for voting. Let's vote, but let's not vote for them anymore. That's all that we need to do. We got the message loud and clear. The ANC had one job and one job only: to disprove to everybody that they love the people of South Africa by not criticizing and deliberately misconstruing what March and March leader Jacinta Zuma says. The propaganda machine is well oiled. And it is our job as South Africans who love this country to debunk every propaganda about us. We know us. We know who we are. And if anybody tries to come and make up stories about us and putting labels on us, I saw that, okay, the xenophobia thing, the propaganda there, it's dead. Afrophobia, dead. They tried us with white people, that we love white people, we're afraid of white people, we are people slaves and all that sort of stuff. That fell flat on its face. And there are other stuff they also tried. Now they're pushing the narrative that Black South Africans are not South Africans. We are from the Congos, and we South Africans, whether you like it or not. Because what they are trying to do, they are trying to erase us from South Africa. They want to replace us, because remember, they're saying we are Congolese. Others are going even as far as placing us somewhere in Nigeria, so that they remove us South Africans and place themselves as the originators of this country. Propaganda. It's not going to work, that one either. In fact, that one is so stupid, it's laughable. I think every South African is laughing about that, because that propaganda came with the ships. So that those that came with the ships, they feel that, no, they also belong here type of situation, because they are the native, not, well, they are now, but to, anyways. So that narrative is not going to work. That narrative is not going to work. You are a Nigerian, period. You are a Zimbabwean, period. You are a Congolese, period. You are whatever on the African continent, period. You are not going to try to erase us. That's not going to happen. I think you guys are learning that these guys are tough nut to crack. We've always been a tough nut to crack. You know, just in closing, you know, when a people come from another people, there will always be that one trait that will show up to say, yeah, those are Congolese. Resilience. We don't run away. Nothing about Black South Africans points or have any evidence that we come from the Great Lakes. No evidence at all, because we are not like you and you are not like us. You are cowards. We are not cowards. You're like leeches. We are not leeches. You're like parasites. We are not parasites. You run away. We stay and fight for what we believe in. So if we came from wherever you guys saying we come from, at least there will be that trait. We don't have your DNA running through our veins. You wish. So that propaganda is also debunked. So it's a lot, but the 30th of June, 2026 is forthcoming. As Jiki. You can put the army, you can put whoever you want to put. We got nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to lose. And you know, a person with nothing to lose is actually more dangerous. And when I say dangerous, I'm talking to themselves. Because a person that has nothing to lose and the barrel of a gun is facing them, they will come right in front of it and place it here and tell you who the trigger, pull it. Pull it. That is what a person that has nothing to lose does. I don't know if you remember Andres Datane. Go Google him. See what they did to him. Andres Datane. That's who we are. If you're going to do it, don't threaten us. Do it. That's South African attitude. Because we got nothing to lose. And even if we did have something to lose, we know that we're doing this for our offspring. Our blood will fertilize the soil for them to thrive. That's our attitude. And I think the ANC, and I've said it before, I grew up an ANC kid. I know the culture of the ANC. And I can tell you right now, the people that are leading the ANC, they are not it. They are not it. It's not what or Tambo, or Tambo instilled, the people that hold that teaching, our parents and their children, us. Where when or Tambo wrote a letter about one thing or another, and you are in Swaziland like we were, and then you respond, and then he brings back the letter, and it's written in red, all the grammatical errors you made, and then at the bottom, he says, rewrite this letter. Those that grew up in the ANC know exactly what I'm talking about. Because they wanted people that were going to take over the government once we obtained democracy to know how to read and write. While the young ones are pushed to school because they are the ones that are going to take over the country having been educated, and hopefully skills would be transferred to them by the former oppressors. It was a beautiful blueprint. And all these people that are leading the ANC right now, they are not it. Selfish. And now when South Africans are rising, as Nelson Mandela once said to South Africans, if the ANC does to you what the apartheid government did to you, do to the ANC what you did to the apartheid government. And that's exactly what much and much is all about. But you are nitpicking words that are coming out of their mouth and you are misconstruing them to suit the propaganda about xenophobia and vigilantism and all the nonsense that you guys say about much and much. You are saying that to South Africans. They speak on our behalf. Yes, not those that are not supporting the movement, but they speak for the rest of us. Anyways, let me close this video. Whatever you do, please have yourselves a wonderful Wednesday. Take care of yourselves. Take care of this country and defend it with everything you've got. Everything, guys. That includes our lives. Thanks. Goodbye.